Trade at your own risk. I take no responsibility for your losses. In this video, I'm going to talk about why I like Bitcoin so much in the long term and why I think it's so good. I've said before in other videos that the fundamentals on Bitcoin are really good, or I like them, and obviously they don't. Their fundamentals are different than a company. So what I mean by fundamentals is just everything besides the technical charts. The technical analysis. Everything else besides that is what I mean. And I'm gonna give the big three what makes me really like them, and I think it's probably undervalued. Maybe not so much by people watching these videos, but maybe still some, but definitely by the vast majority of the public. So actually, maybe there's gonna be four because that kind of plays into it. But so first one is inflation for other national currencies. Our inflation is when inflation happens, it has a reaction to basically everything. So, and when there's more, U.S. dollars, and the dollar is worth less. Well, if the dollar is worth less, then Bitcoin should be worth more U.S. dollars. And additionally, with inflation, if you have a ton of money, you're not going to want it in a national currency that's going to have inflation. Now, maybe you think that is like a safer bet than having it in stocks and things, but you're going to be guaranteeing yourself to essentially lose value. You're not going to lose money, but you're going to lose value. So there's a factor where you don't have that with crypto, because, or like at least, with a certain coin, because it's a finite number that's going to be created, and you're not going to keep creating it. So there really could be a huge rush to crypto, mainly for that reason, because it's just there's not going to be inflation like there is in a national currency. The other thing plays along with national currency, or plays along with inflation, but that would be the stability of some of these national currencies. Let's look at the U.S. dollar. And I'm no expert in this field. You could get, you can find more about it, but these are just things I think about. And, not saying I'm an expert in these fields, but I'm thinking about these things, and I'm on the, I got the right idea that yes, there is inflation and stability of currencies. Like say for the U.S. dollar, it's not that great. I think it's totally overlooked about our debt, and it's not all owed to China. A lot of it is owed to future generation Social Security, and you could end up very well with a big issue. We are in a tremendous amount of debt. The nation is over 20 trillion, well over 20 trillion. I think over 25 trillion, and we're in a tremendous amount of debt, and it doesn't really look like it's slowing down soon. And there is a problem, I think, with in democracy where you think the majority of voters want stimulus, and so you keep doing stimulus. And it's not just with stimulus checks, but it's with all sorts of things like that. They want, and then you get their vote, and you end up digging into more debt, which debt can be fine, because it does increase our production, and we have better things, and that can increase our GDP. It's fine, but at a certain point, it gets pretty risky, and we're past that point. And we can come into a problem where, we're going to be basically bankrupt, and what happens at that point, it's probably going to help Bitcoin. We might try to print our way out, and that's going to cause a mass amount of inflation, and it's going to be such an alarming rate, which it's going to cause people to really run away. And they'll run to Bitcoin if they think Bitcoin's safe. The longer Bitcoin can hold levels, at least here, even if they held levels in the upper teens, because that was so magical just a short time ago, anywhere, yeah, they lose confidence on a big drop, but you look at the grand scheme, and it's like it's so high, and it probably won't drop that low, but as long as it can hold somewhere around here, it's going to give big money people big confidence. In fact, actually, they're not going to lose confidence here. If it comes here and holds, they're probably going to see it as a buying opportunity. Bitcoin's an interesting thing. It's worth what people want it to be worth, but it's actually, I mean, crypto in general is worth a little bit more than that. And that's going to be one of the other things why I think the value of it is so good long term. That's going to be like just the logistics of crypto and of the blockchain. The blockchain technology is very useful and can be very useful for companies and for other things, especially for data keeping and things like that. So and also for transactions from one currency to another is obviously very useful. So transaction speeds, transaction like fees, when you're doing one currency to another, it's very useful. But for companies, it can be very useful. Here's an example. I really liked Walton Chain, Walton Coin, Walton Chain, and I used to really like it. I mean, I still like it. I still think people are sleeping on it. They expected things to go faster with them, but this is a good example. You know, they linked RFID chips to blockchain technology, and they had a patent on that. And I need to see how long their patent lasts for, if it can be renewed. If they can hold the patent on that for another few years, I still love them. I need to do my homework and dive into that, because if they can hold their patent on that, I think that technology, that science, when executed, is going to be extremely beneficial. So it just seems to be a thing that they are not producing as fast as what people were expecting. So people are just totally dogged on them. I mean, even calling them a scam. Anyways, but it's just an example about Walton Chain. You know, so they can link the RFID chips to blockchain technology. Now what you can have when you're doing any kind of logistics and you're shipping something, instead of having to scan in all the barcodes, you move them in. It's the RFID is tracking them, and it's on a blockchain, and you can see it. Nothing can, you know, your data is good. But on top of that, you can reduce labor hours, because all you got to do is just move the products, and it'll always know where the products move to. Even they can even look at more data. Like if you pull something off a shelf, you look at it, you put it back, and you know, they may want to see which ones be looked at, be put back, which ones ain't even being touched and moved, you know. But in of course for shipping, like I said, for medical supplies, I mean, there's tons of value there if you can get that done. I think they maybe be having a little bit of trouble with it, but I think these things take time too. But anyways, there's things like that where the blockchain is very useful. So the fourth one I will mention, a little bonus one I thought of, is younger generation, like so yeah, as time goes on, the average person is going to, or on average, a person will be more into crypto than they were the year before. As generations go, I mean, and as generations go and new generations come, it's just like anything with technology, and the newer generations are going to adapt to crypto and welcome cryptocurrency a bit more. There's definitely some in the older generation that definitely hop on it. The younger generation will understand it better on average, and they will, on average, you know, accept it more, I believe. So as time goes on, I think that will be a big benefit also. And now, I mean, we're talking, say, 10 years. I mean, in 10 years, that's a 10-year span of a group of people is a lot of people that, you know, and then not every one of them, of course, but, you know, more and more. So you're going to have right now a group from 10 to 18 or even 10 to low 20s that may be not interested in it, and or well, they can't, some of them, if you're not even an adult, but and then they may be into it 10 years down the road, more so than what just kicked off. But and that's about it. One more thing I'd mention though is, I mean, just being a decentralized currency is also really nice. It can't be manipulated by the government. It can't be manipulated by the government. Obviously, you know, inflation isn't there, which is a huge plus, but I went over that. But it's just nice to be decentralized. I think there might come a time when something major happens in a country, could even be the U.S., although as strong as the U.S. seems, but could happen in a lot of countries where things aren't good for that country, and could cause things bad for the currency. It's nice to have a decentralized currency that's not linked to any one country. So that's why I think Bitcoin is going to be so great for the long haul. But I'm not one that's just going to buy and hold. I think there is better things to do with your money. If you want to analyze the charts and decide when you want to be in, when you want to be out, you will never miss the whole move if you're trading correctly, right, with technical analysis and riding momentum. Because one huge flaw people have, in my opinion, is when say it breaks to this point and they say, now it's too high, I can't buy. Well, and I'm not saying from here to here, but, it just works, whatever. It does whatever on its way up to here. You say it, and it gets to here, and it stutter, it pop, and they say, I can't chase that here. No, that is where you chase it. And if you're going to sit out on that sideline, then yeah, you might want to just be a person that just buys and holds. But you'd be better off. There's other things to do with your money at times. Right now, I'm not seeing as much. Market is just questionable on all fronts, but there's spots you can play. But I really like Bitcoin, but Bitcoin chart doesn't look too bad to me anyway. But it does look like it could get sour and drop down into the 20s, low 20s. It could happen. I say fluid and keep watching it. But my point is, yeah, I'm not even though I love Bitcoin for the long term, I'm still going to actively trade it and be active. And then when I'm out, like I say, it's not like I'm going to miss the run, because if I'm out, I'm always going to be active, and I'll always find times to buy. So I'm never going to miss the whole run necessarily, because when you see the spot of momentum and it has to go, that's your time to hop in and not miss the run. So, above these highs would be an example. You don't think, it went above the high too late. But when it breaks above a previous resistance, that's not a spot to wait for a pullback. That's a spot to jump in and ride the wave. But I'm going to let this video end. Whenever I see something that causes an alert for Bitcoin, and I have the time to make a video after doing my own trade, of course, I post video here and there and say if I think it's a buy or a sell. Subscribe if you'd like to see those alerts. Other videos I do videos on stock market as well. So subscribe if you'd like to see those alerts, like this video if you liked it. And, go forth and make a lot of money. Hope you guys do good luck. I just wanted to look at this chart right before we got off, and what I want to see is this go above this high here. This go above 34.78. Be nice if it gets into the 35. If it rejects here, goes down, I might be looking for sell. That's all I got for you guys. Stay tuned. Good luck.